Hola chicos, and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Señora. Today we are going to be making bonfire brownies. I'm so excited. Sunday, I was hoping to make these and enjoy the outside and videotape and get it all ready for you, but I got kind of sidetracked with the good weather. But I'll tell you, nothing makes me think of s'mores more than good weather, right? When you can get a fire going and you can sit outside and enjoy the coolness of the summer air, but enjoy a nice little treat with marshmallow. It is chocolate and graham cracker too, but for me it's all about the marshmallow. So anyway, I'm really excited about making these and I am happy to be able to share it with you. So here's what they are. They are this baked s'mores like brownie, and they require some really basic ingredients, and actually not a lot of them either, because if you're just kind of running low on graham crackers, marshmallows, and chocolate, you don't need a lot of any of those ingredients. Of course, you need your basics like flour and sugar and eggs, and we'll talk about that. So let's talk about what you need. All right, well, you need graham crackers. I did do some research. There are gluten-free graham crackers out there, so if you're gluten-free, you can find them. These are the ones I'm using today because we're not gluten-free, but you know, if you want them, they're out there. I think there are recipes to making graham cracker if you really want to go totally hardcore on this and make from scratch every little bit of this recipe. I know you can make them, but I do know that you can get some pretty tasty gluten-free options. Okay, you're also going to need 2 eggs. Didn't forget to mention those this time. And they don't say that they have to be room temperature or anything, so just make sure you have 2 eggs and you're good. All right, you're also going to need some unsweetened cocoa. I always buy Hershey's. I just feel like it's easy. It's always available. I don't need to go fancy, and it's a nice little staple to have in your closet, in your pantry. You're also going to need instant coffee. Now this is just any old instant coffee. If you're not drinking instant coffee at home, there's no need to go splurging on instant coffee. Anyway, you don't need much of this. I think you only need, what is it? A tablespoon? We're making a lot of brownies. All right, you also need 3/4 cup of sugar. I've already measured it out for myself, so I'm ready to rumble. And you also need 1/2 cup, if I'm not mistaken, yep, of flour, okay? You also need 1/2 cup of pretzels. You're gonna need vanilla. You're gonna need a stick of unsalted butter. I have mine here already pre-cut because I'll show you what I'm gonna do with that in a bit. You need chocolate. You need some Hershey's chocolate. This one is just the wrapper, but listen, you need about 1.5 to 2 of these. You know, they say 1 to 2 bars. She's not very clear on the recipe, so just so you know, as long as you have 2, you're good. And also too, I'm gonna use some of this, of the 2 bars that I did use to, the recipe does ask you to chop up some chocolate to put on top of your actual brownie, so that the marshmallows adhere to them. So just be mindful that if you only have 2 bars, that you save a little bit aside for that part in the recipe. Okay, all right, I think I mentioned it all. So let's get going. This does not require a mixer. You're really good if you can just simply find a bowl that's big enough that holds all your ingredients, and I'm predicting that this is big enough. We'll find out. Sometimes I find out too late and I have to actually do 2 bowls, but I think this is big enough. This is not a lot of ingredients, and I kind of visualizing them, they look good. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do, besides preheat your oven to 350, is you're gonna find yourself a baking dish that has sides, and it calls for a 9-inch baking dish. I'm gonna tell you, an 8-inch baking dish is more common in my house than the 9-inch, so I'm just using an 8-inch. So here it is, okay? It's a square dish. It's 8 by 8. It's got a little bit of an edge. It's glass. It's one of those Pyrex. This is perfectly fine, okay? You're also going to have to line it with parchment paper. The whole point of these brownies is to bake them in here, but to be able to pick them out. You're not gonna wanna cut, I mean, I suppose you could probably cut in the dish and eat right from there, but I think if you want it to be presentable and you want to be able to just cut and serve like almost bars, you need to line your parchment paper. I think you do need to line your your dish with parchment paper regardless, for the simple fact that you don't want everything to stick. This is also a reason why we use parchment paper, to prevent things from sticking. You make cakes, that's very common to do this, so that's what it's asking for. It says to just line it with parchment paper. It's not very explicit, but because I know I'm probably going to take them out, and I also know I don't want them to stick on any of the sides, I've done this. I've taken 2 pieces of parchment paper, and I have one going this way, and then I have one going this way. All right, so let's go. I preheated my oven. I got my dish ready. What does it say? All right, it says arrange your graham crackers on the edge, on the bottom of your dish. I'm gonna move this to the side. Here are my graham crackers. And I'm not gonna break them. I'm just gonna use them the way they are. I'm gonna face them up. I think that'd be nicer. I don't think it matters. Okay. And it says you're gonna need about 4 to 5. So what I'm finding is that my graham cracker is actually fitting nicely on the top. And it does say to make sure you fit in all the edges. So this part kind of annoys me. So this is where I'm just gonna kind of break the edges a little bit. Look, that's not pretty. Doesn't matter, it fits. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing with the next one. It looks like I might need 3 of those like that. I'm just gently cracking the edges so that I can take a little edge off. And and it fits. Okay, well, who knew I was a professional at this? Okay, looks like that would be good. Just gonna, I'm gonna be eating crumbs later. All right, so you can see I've placed graham cracker all around the edge, and I'm gonna just fix this really quick. This edge is a little, okay. So the bottom of my dish is lined with graham cracker. All right, let's get that out of the way. Okay, so it tells me to do that. Now it tells me I have to put the butter and milk chocolate in a medium bowl and microwave for 30 seconds. Okay, really quick. I had not taken out the pieces of chocolate I wanted to use for 2 ounces. I'm gonna say 6 of these little mini things is 2 ounces. Okay, I've reserved those on the side. And now I've taken the rest of my 2 bars of chocolate and I've made them into this size. And I'm taking my butter, which I've already cut into slices to kind of break it up. And I'm just putting that in the bowl. Okay, with my chocolate. Okay, I did 30 seconds. Not a lot of progress. I'm gonna go another 30. Now, it does matter. Sometimes your microwave isn't set to a high enough setting. I don't even know what mine's set to. I don't do that. When it says like microwave on high, I just put 2 minutes. It says 2 minutes, I do 2 minutes. Is it high? I don't know. Is that why maybe I have problems with the microwave? I don't know. I don't really microwave too much unless it's like microwave popcorn, and even then, we make homemade popcorn most of the time, so I don't know. I don't think I care too much about if it's high or not. Oh, let me just double check. Okay, so right now I'm thinking this is looking pretty good. Let me just do a little stir-a-roo. You know what I'm realizing now, because this is asking for, I put this all in this bowl, thinking that this would be necessary to keep it in this bowl, but really this is the first part of the many ingredients we're going to be adding to this recipe. So I really should have been working out of the big bowl. So once I kind of stir this up a bit, I just do it a little more. It's pretty good. I am getting a little particular about mixing it thoroughly, but that's good. All right, I'm going to transfer it into this big bowl because this is going to be the bowl that I actually want to mix everything in. All right. Okay. Make sure every little ounce gets in there, because you know me, I like it to be like that. All right, let it go. I'm gonna put that in my sink, get it out of my way. All right, now it says, what does it say? It says you need to add the sugar and whisk until completely combined. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this spoon really quick. And I'm actually gonna get myself a piece of paper towel so I can keep my space as clean as possible. And then I'm gonna add my sugar. Here's my sugar. So again, don't forget, this is going to be 3/4 cup of sugar. Ooh, I'm gonna save this. And I'm just gonna whisk. You wanna build some muscle, you whisk. moving. And also too, since this is sugar, it really is just a matter of getting it combined. You're not gonna be breaking down the sugar there, so let's see. Okay, so that's the sugar part. Now it says I must add the vanilla and coffee. Okay, so the vanilla was how much? 1.5 teaspoons. Oh, I didn't get my little measuring tool out. Okay, hold on. 1.5 teaspoons. I'm using a 1/2 teaspoon because I don't like to waste multiple spoons. So what I'm gonna do is first measure it out as 3/2 teaspoons, right? That's 1.5 teaspoons. Remember, doing this over your mix is not always a smart move, but I have confidence in my steady hand, so I'm gonna just do it. That's 1, 2, 3. Okay, I didn't know that I was gonna have enough. I thought I was gonna have to open a new bottle. I guess I didn't. All right, so there's my 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm gonna mix that in. I love the smell of vanilla. Okay, what else? Oh, the coffee. So the coffee is gonna ask for 1 tablespoon. Oh, that's my oven. I've been preheating while we've been working. Okay, I have a feeling I didn't prepare. See, I should have taken the time to do this. And you know what this is? This is like, oh, it worked. It's actually easy. Sometimes these seals are really hard to break open. But it looks like that was not difficult. So I'm gonna go tablespoon of coffee. That goes in there. Okay. Instant coffee. Mix that puppy up. Ooh. Yeah. Smells a little coffee, but not a lot. It's still it smells like chocolate. It's not, so if you're worried about the coffee flavor coming through, honestly, you can just omit it. If you're really not sure about the coffee part or you don't have the instant coffee, do it without the coffee. It's really, like I said, just an enhancer. It deepens the flavor of the coffee. It doesn't, I mean, the chocolate, it doesn't necessarily have any other real purpose. Okay. All right, let's see. What else? Okay, add the vanilla, coffee, and eggs. Okay, here's the part that we have to make sure we're careful. So I'm going to do this on the side because here's the deal. When you're doing eggs, you want to make sure that you don't get any shells. And here's a cool little trick. And I'm going to just quickly throw this out. A cool little trick with eggs. If by chance you get egg shell in your mix, okay, and you're like trying to get in there and it's always like slippery and is like totally like escaping your attempts to get it out, here's how you do it. You use the actual shell of your egg to get it out. It's the only, and well, it's not the only, it's the best way to get eggshell out of your egg. So if you just don't forget, you can use your eggshell to kind of find it because it's like it holds it or something. I don't know. But anyway, that's a good way. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands. Remember, salmonella. Okay, washing hands really quick. Okay, I washed my hands and I'm ready to rumble. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add that egg into, the 2 eggs actually, into our mix. And here they go. 1 and 2. Uno y dos. And again, I like to kind of disrupt them a bit. I'm gonna go slow because mixing these 2 consistencies can kind of slop over the edge and make a mess. So just being careful. And you know, it does take a little time to get them going because clearly they're slimy, they're membrane-like, not to skeeve you guys out, but you wanna make sure you're kind of doing a little bit of a whisk and fold. Whisk and fold. Just kind of get it all done. And because, you know, I like it to be very well mixed and thoroughly mixed, which you should when you're baking and they ask you to, I take the time. Don't rush. So now we added our eggs and we got to add our cocoa powder and our flour and salt until smooth and thick. All right, cocoa powder. How much was that? Cocoa powder was, half a cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and, it's kind of cumbersome, it doesn't fit in here very well. So what I'm gonna do is use my hand to kind of gently thought that's gonna hurt. All right, that's about the top. I could say there's a little argument there for more, room for some more, but I'm not gonna worry about it, okay? And we got our cocoa powder. And it said also a flour. And you know what I didn't get was our salt. I forgot about our salt, but let me mix this first. Again, the powder, whoops, see, I did it. I got powder in there. I went too fast. You gotta kind of remember when you're mixing two different consistencies of ingredients. Oh, I went off the edge again. You gotta go slow. Just take a little second to go slow. Okay, now you can see that's blending in. Taking the time. Don't go fast, Lori. Go slow. Okay, look at that. It's already looking like a brownie. Now, you do need to remember, this is just the flavor. So far you have the chocolate part, the fat part, and also the binding parts, which are the egg and the butter, actually, both of them. So you do need to have some sort of leaven, something that rises, something that creates a little bit of a cakey part. So that's why we still need our flour. So let's do that. So our flour is 1/2 cup of flour. So here it is. And it called for salt. You know how I like to add my salt into my flour so it doesn't stick in, you know how I am, but whatever. Let me go get my salt. And look at that. A little extra, that goes in the garbage. I know it's a little wasteful. And I'm gonna put that in my flour, mix my flour a bit with it, just to kind of dig it in there. Mix my flour into my, moving this forward, into my mix. And I'm gonna, again, go slow, because you don't want that powdery part of your mix to go flying everywhere. Changed from the whisk to the spatula, because the whisk is just gonna get, as it gets thicker, it's gonna get stuck in here. And I know this is taking time. See, this is called forgetting what you're doing. You know, you gotta kind of, sometimes this happens in cooking. You make these mistakes, and I don't wanna call them mistakes. They're just steps that you take because you forget that, you know, maybe, I'm gonna do this. Sorry for the noise. All right. This is probably as good as it's gonna get. I would have normally given that to my child, just so you know. Anyway, I think it's gonna be easier to mix my ingredients with the spatula instead of the whisk. And what's nice about the spatula is you can kind of, what I like to call the swirl, smash, swirl, smash, swirl, smash, swirl, smash. It's also professionally called folding. Although with folding, you want to be careful not to go too hard, because sometimes when you're asked to fold your dough or you fold your batter, it's because they don't want you to lose the air in it. Okay, so you don't want to lose the air in your things. But this is a dense concoction, so we're not worried about the air. Okay, all right, I think that's pretty well mixed, and I'm just going to make sure that there's no powder edged here, and that's it. All right, looks pretty good. Looks fudgy goodness. All right, so let's see what it says. It says smooth and just combine. Try not to overmix. See, apparently I shouldn't have overmixed. I don't think I did. I let it be what it needed to be, and I'm done. So that is also telling you it is important to be folding and not ruining your mix. If you overmix, you can get it too thick, I think, in this recipe. So that's why it's probably asking you that. All right, pour the batter over the graham crackers in the baking dish. Gently press the pretzels on top. Okay, so I'm gonna move this stuff over. I'm gonna clean my station a bit. And I'm going to get my graham crackers. It has a little chocolate there. That's okay because it's powder. And we're going to pour this batter. It's like molasses, people. Wow. And I know I'm not really showing you much right now, but I promise I will. And I'm gonna take a second, get some of this off my edges. I have a lot on my spatula, and this is how I do it. I just kind of, okay. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna probably be a little bit more, I'm gonna be a little less worried about getting every bit of this off, because it's kind of like very sticky, and when it's sticky like this, you're just constantly going back and forth and battling your batter. And you know what else I think I'm gonna say about this is that I'm not necessarily worried about if I don't get all of it, even though I'm going back for more, because of the fact that it's an 8-inch dish, not a 9-inch dish. So I know I'll have plenty. Be careful when you're spreading that you don't go too fast or get too aggressive, because don't forget those crackers that are at the bottom, they're not glued down. So every time you lift them up, every time you move your batter around, you can potentially lift them up, and you know, you don't want them to move out of place. The whole point is to get them to bake where they are. And you also want to try to make sure that this batter is spread evenly as possible, which means not only do you want to make sure that every corner gets kind of a good chance at whatever, getting batter touching the edge, you also want to make sure that your batter is not overly lopsided. Okay, you don't want to have your batter higher on one side and less high on another. Okay, I'm just going to do that. All right, so now it says take your pretzels, and I don't know if I should be crunching them. It doesn't say. Let me see. It doesn't say that I should press the pretzels on top. It doesn't say crushed pretzels, so I'm assuming it just says half a cup of mini pretzel twists. It doesn't say to break them. So I'm just going to lay them. Uh-oh. Got my finger in the chocolate. It says half a cup, so I'm just going to try to, I'm already, oh no. Am I putting them too close? Should I have crushed them? I don't know. This kind of stuff is, well, if this is half a cup, this is not enough. I'm going to leave it like that. I don't care. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to let it go. Okay, so now it says bake for 25 to 30 minutes. Now you know that when I bake, I like to do, you know, somewhere in the between. So 25 to 30 minutes, I'm going to say 28. Even though I know that's on the higher side, I always kind of give it the higher side of the middle if I have to. I don't do 27.5, okay? So I'm going to do it for 28 minutes and see where we're at. And we'll be back once those come out. All right, see you in a bit. Hola chicos, I'm back. So we have a little time left on the timer, and let's see. Oh, I only have like 2.5 minutes left before I'm going to pull out those brownies. And I wasn't sure if I told you you needed marshmallows. I mean, I know I talked about them, but I don't know if I showed these. Did I? Anyway, you need 2 cups of marshmallows for the next step. And this is a 2-cup measuring cup. Notice it's a little above the edge. That's because I plan on eating the ones that don't fit. And also too, if I can cram more marshmallows in, I will, because I think nothing speaks to joy as a marshmallow does. Also, you're gonna need chocolate on the side. I kept like 6 little of those little squares that Hershey bars, you know, break into, and I chopped it up. I just used my hands, honestly. Uh-oh, put that back in. And you're gonna need this so that the marshmallows can adhere to the brownie, which leads me to my next part. You're also gonna have to broil. Now, if you don't know what broiling is, broiling requires to have your baked item or your oven item closer to the top, and it's a function on your oven, and it gives intensified heat, and it only comes from the top. Usually an oven circulates hot air, and so that things bake evenly. And on marshmallows, you would imagine it will give them that little charcoaly kind of browned look that you get, that charred look when you roast them outside. So in order to do that, I went ahead and just put one of my my racks up high, so it's already there. And you could do that before you start so that you don't have to deal with it after the baking part is done, because it is hot in there. Oh, it's done. All right, let me get my stuff. All right, so. Ooh. All right, so you're not going to turn off your oven, because the very next step that you need to do is you're going to add some of these bits of chocolate on top, and you should have a slightly firmed top. So when I touch it, yeah, I can tell like it's just starting to do that, like that kind of that, you know, when it gets all like crispy on the top of a brownie. It's just starting to do that. I know if I put my finger through it, I'm not only gonna burn myself, but I'm also going to go through. It's okay that it's still soft, because you're still gonna put this back in the oven for 5 more minutes. So you're gonna sprinkle these pieces of chocolate as evenly as possible. And if you find that they're clumping in certain spots, you know, it's okay. It's not like the end of the world. And I'm gonna tell you, you could have maybe chopped up more chocolate than what I'm doing, but I'm just kind of basing it on what she says in the recipe. And I think like things like with chocolate, you can't really go wrong. All right, so now I did the chocolate part. I put the little pieces in there, and when they go back in the oven, they're obviously gonna melt. Okay, but this is really important, because what you're trying to do is make the marshmallows adhere to this brownie. So after you've kind of done that, you're gonna put your marshmallows evenly on top of the chocolate, and I'm just gonna lay them longwise. Now remember, these guys do puff up, so oh my God, I have a feeling I'm not gonna have marshmallows to eat. Oh no, I might not be able to eat a marshmallow. I might even need another marshmallow. All right, well, that's gonna have to be how it is. I feel like this one needs to go here. All right, all right. I hope this is still okay, because if this is like, they don't puff up, I'm gonna be upset. Okay, so that's how I'm doing it. I'm not even sure what to expect. So I have a pitcher here, and I'm just gonna do this, okay? It's 2 cups. I know it's at least 2 cups. Okay, so now it says, add the marshmallows evenly over the chocolate and then return the brownies to the oven. So 5-minute timer on. So that means I'm going to leave them in there for 5 minutes. That's gonna help the marshmallows to kind of get warm inside, expand, probably adhere. Maybe the brownie needs to still cook a little more, I'm assuming. I mean, I'm definitely sure it's not done if it's gonna go in for another 5 minutes. And then after that, this is the part I was referring to. You're gonna have to broil your brownie marshmallow. I don't know that this is absolutely necessary for you to do. So if you don't feel comfortable with broiling, this is not gonna take away from the quality of your product, or even simply the baking, you know, quality of your project. I mean, you're gonna easily be able to still eat this, okay? It's gonna be fully cooked by this point. It's just more the detail. And if you look at the picture, see how it's got that little charred look to it? She's an artist, you know, she's trying to make her brownies look like art. And frankly, I don't love my marshmallow that charred. I am like a slow cooker. When I do a s'more, I like a nice golden, even, so it's perfect and it just melts equally on my s'more. So if it's dark like that, that's not my game. So I might not even do it for as long as it suggests. And it only says to put it on the broiler for about 30 seconds. So we'll see. When you get to that part, you gotta definitely watch it. And the broiler is a function on your oven. You need to actually put it on broiler, not just put your rack on the top, because that's just half of it. You need to put your rack on the top of your oven, plus you need to turn on your broiler. And it's usually just a simple button. There's no temperature for it. A broiler has a set temperature. I believe it's like 550 or something like that, so it's pretty high. Waiting for my brownies, waiting for my brownies, waiting, waiting, waiting for my brownies, waiting for my brownies, waiting, waiting. Okay, yeah, that was good. Okay. Waiting. Waiting. Okay. So listen, I got 53 seconds left on the clock, and I'm going to tell you right now that this part is going to require me to do this by myself over there. I can't talk here and let the broil happen because you have to watch your marshmallows as they broil. These are very sensitive, delicate creatures, these marshmallows. They're soft and they're sugar, and sugar loves to burn. So you need to make sure that you don't do this without watching. You have to watch. You have to watch. And unless you really want a charred and ruined brownie in the very, very end, you need to make sure you're watching every second of the broil. 15 to 30 seconds happens very fast. And in baking, it's like a blink. So once that beeps, I'm gonna go over there, put it on a broil, put it on the top, watch it, and I'll be back to let you see my final product. Fingers crossed I don't burn them. Broil, and I'm watching. 550, people. 550 says 15 to 30 seconds. It's broiling right now. I'm watching. Stay with me, people. 15 seconds. Has it gone by yet? Okay, it's getting golden. Light. They're light. They're light. They're light. Oh my gosh. They're almost right. Oh my god, it smells just like a campfire with marshmallows. Oh my gosh! They smell like they're burning. Okay, this side, not so brown. Clearly my oven cooks hotter on one side than the other. See that? That is so annoying. Doesn't matter. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Not gonna lie. I'm gonna put it in for 1 second on the other side. This could be the doom and gloom of my life, but guess what? OCD kicking in. Okay, come on, marshmallows. Get just a little warmer on that side. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. If I mess these up, I'm gonna be so mad at myself because this is where you do this. It's like when you paint something and you take that extra stroke and then you ruin the paint job that you did. You know when I'm talking about art. And if you're doing anything else, like anything else, where you know you just shouldn't go for that extra. Be satisfied, be happy. That's all I can afford. I can't afford to ruin these. And these are actually more along my kind of taste level than these. These are a little bit too brown. Smells good. And you know what? I think I really didn't need to have more marshmallows. Those really puffed up nicely. All right. Okay, well, so this is it. You gotta let these puppies sit for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, it says. Because you want them to cool. Obviously, you're gonna burn your tongue or your mouth if you eat a marshmallow right now. And a brownie also needs to set a bit. You know, it's a fudgy goodness, but it needs to set. So don't be in a rush. In this episode of Cooking with Señora, we made bonfire brownies. And they look and smell delicious. Let me know. Can you make a bonfire brownie? What can you make? What can you do? Give me a heads up. Let me know. Tell me about it. Send me a picture, video. I'm curious. All right, see you next time. We're gonna try the bonfire brownie. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do it. All right, do you think, we still have to eat dinner, so I'm not gonna make a couple of pieces.
I'll just have like one segment.
Okay.
One marshmallow.
One marshmallow, okay. I was like, what does that mean? Okay, see how, ooh.
It's
tender.
I don't think that's the right word.
Why not?
Because it's like, it's not.
It's also very sticky, I'm gonna say. How do you avoid this part of the process? Do you see what I'm talking about? Or is that kind of part of the process? Like it's authentic. It's like a.
Yeah, it's like.
It's like a real. S'more experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's your segment, as you call it.
Am I just gonna eat it with
yeah, eat it with your hands, like a s'more. Okay. Here, let me, oh. What do you notice about it inside?
It's like.
It's definitely fudgy. It's definitely oozy the way the picture, right?
I didn't even realize you put a graham cracker on.
Yeah, look at it. It's definitely, see that? Do you see how it's like?
It feels more like an actual piece of chocolate rather than like just a brownie.
Yeah, it's definitely got, are we supposed to eat this with our hands?
I don't know.
Here, let's just do it. Ready?
It's very like chewy.
What part?
Everything.
What do you think about the flavor?
It's a good mush.
Yeah, but what about the chocolate flavor? You know I don't love chocolate.
It's not too strong, like for being a brownie.
I feel like it's darker chocolate tasting though, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Doesn't feel like milk chocolate.
No, it does not taste like milk chocolate. And I'm kind of not into that. Are you into it?
I just like sweets.
All right. What would you rate this?
7 out of 10.
Not bad.
It's just really sticky, and it would be a pain to just like eat one of them.
Hello, it's a s'more brownie. It's supposed to be sticky, like a s'more is sticky. It's supposed to be somewhat like that.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Whoa! It's definitely a s'more.
Yeah.
What do you think about the pretzel?
I can't really taste it. It just feels like a soggy pretzel.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
Now, why is the pretzel in there? Is it necessary?
I don't think so.
All
You
right.
can't even taste it, and it doesn't have a crunch.
All right.
So maybe no pretzel?
I think maybe we don't need a pretzel.
Probably not.
I think I'm liking it more as I eat it though.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Hope we still eat dinner. All right. So we've decided. You think 7 out of 10?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know what I want to give it. I don't love chocolate. It feels very chocolatey. If you like chocolate, make it. Otherwise, it's too chocolatey for me. But it's good. It's good. 7 out of 10.
Last bite, I had way too much chocolate and not enough marshmallow.
So the ratio was up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for doing this review with me. Well, next time on Cooking with Señora, I'll bring my dessert expert.
Yeah, I'll test.
And you'll be my tester. Okay.